Hey, Pastor Steve here, and I believe that I have a word from the Lord for you today. And that word is it's quiz time. That's right. Every single time that you're never prepared, there's always a quiz, right? We always see that there are trials and temptations in our lives, and we think that the Lord's causing them. But the reality is that all of life is full of all these opportunities for us to be able to grow our faith. God does not place them in your path, but what He does do is He gives us the opportunities to be able to outgrow them, to be able to get through these things, because that's why, in fact, Christ came and died on the cross for us. Let me give you a couple of scriptures that you're probably familiar with, and I want you to see how this is not God's fault, but it's an opportunity for us to be able to excel as Christians and in this human race. Here, let me show you. This is 1 Peter 1:6. So be truly glad, there's a wonderful joy ahead, even though you have to endure many trials for a little while. This is an opportunity for us to be able to shine. This is an opportunity for us to be able to take that faith that God has placed in you and start chasing after these difficulties and these trials, knocking them down, overcoming them, becoming victorious, and then becoming stronger so that they can't come back and get us again. That's what the whole thing is really about. You know, Peter goes on and he says this in the 7th verse. These trials will show that your faith is genuine. It's being tested as fire tests and purifies gold. Through your faith is more precious than mere gold. So when your faith remains strong through many trials, it will bring you much praise and glory and honor on the day when Jesus Christ is revealed to the whole world. You see, these opportunities for us to be able to excel and to grow are just here in this world. Thank God that they're there because they make us stronger so that we cannot be affected by them further. You know, when you pass a test, you never have to go back and retake that test, right? We never ever have to go back. Usually we end up having another test that's a little bit more difficult, but the reality is that the first one actually prepared us for the second one. And finally you get to graduate and then you never have to take a test, right? And that's what this whole thing is about. You know, James actually wrote this before Peter wrote his letter. He wrote this in James 1:2. Dear brothers and sisters, when trouble comes your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. Well, Peter just said that in his letter, didn't he? It's amazing how these two apostles both tell us that we need to take the opportunity that every time that we face a trial or a difficulty, we should face it with joy. That doesn't mean we should be laughing hysterically, that we should lose it and then start wandering off into Neverland. No, what we should do is we should be happy that we're going to grow through this, we're going to get through it because that's what God intended for us to be able to do. In fact, He equipped us with Jesus Christ to be able to do it. In the 3rd verse, we read this, for you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. This is all about our endurance being able to grow. It is also about the way that our faith grows. Our faith can actually become stronger and stronger as we go through these difficulties and these trials. You know, James finishes up with this. He says, so let it grow, for when your endurance is fully developed, you'll be perfect and complete, needing nothing. So that's what we need. We need to be able to grow to the point of where we don't need to rely on having to go through these trials and these difficulties and all these other things. What we want to do is we want to be able to succeed in the difficulties and the trials that we see in life, regardless of the fact of what's going on around us. And even to this point where James later on tells us that the only good and perfect things come down from the Father of heavenly lights. He doesn't cast a shifting shadow or anything like that. So we have to understand this. God did not cause your troubles or your difficulties, but He did give you the way out of them, and that's through Christ Himself. You know, based on these things, this is the word that I believe that the Lord's given to me for you today. I have not put these trials in your path, but I have given you the ability to overcome each of them by the strength that I have surely given you. So I say rejoice in the difficulties, for it is there that you'll see your greatest moves of faith. You know, God is so proud of you every time you overcome a trial and a difficulty because He knows that He's equipped you perfectly for it. Well, I hope that this post has been a blessing for you. You're more than welcome to share it on Facebook. You can go to YouTube and check out all our other videos. You can even go to our webpage at awfg.today. Check out our videos, check out the blog. You can even get involved and download some resources. Any way that you look at it, I hope that you go out today and be a miracle, going someplace to happen.